So, I want to talk about 11.6, the current newest update on BCJP. And this is the list of changes that I stole from Discord as usual. I will call this Egg Update number 2, Electric Boogaloo, also known as the Fish Update. Because we all know that's the main thing here. The main highlights for this updates are the new eggs and also some of the new Ubers here. There are new enemies as well, but these aren't as relevant. But I think to talk about the new units, I must first talk about the new enemies. Let's talk about miscellaneous changes first. 11.6, let's begin right here. New UL and new UL crowns as usual. User rank reward goes up to whatever, I don't really care. Add ability to view if a stage has a one-time drops. I wonder if I have a screenshot for this. This is a new feature in 11.6 where you can see if a stage has a one-time drop. If a stage has a one-time drop, like for example, I believe this is a monthly gauntlet, I think. Every monthly gauntlet stage has a one-time drop rewards that you can get. And it'll show up right here. If you press the enemy checker, it'll show up right here that it has a one-time drop that you haven't claimed, I believe. That's one of the quality of life changes that you can get in 11.6. Yeah, it's not a bad addition. You can, of course, just check the event thing, but this is way more accessible, right? The other thing is this. Add a shortcut to change battle formation to the one used in the last clear of the stage of the map screen. If you hold the equip button, you can immediately choose the last clear lineup that you have. This time they basically give you a shortcut where if you just hold the equip button, it'll show it's like, this is your last clear lineup. If you just want to use this, you know, go ahead. It's a pretty nice quality of life updates, yep. And what's crazy is that they still don't hide your inquiry code. That's insane. Cat formation slot goes up to 17. I'm pretty sure you still need like meow medals for this, but yeah. Legendary Holy Water, another seasonal farming like bug nets and love letters. You know, it's just another farming item, but I really don't like this, and I will talk about this soon. It is like bug nets and love letters, so it's not new, and I don't have a problem with bug nets and love letter. Let's skip that for now. Miscellaneous changes. Breaker Blast and Holy Blast has Soul Strike, and it's probably one of the most interesting thing in this update. Soul Strike, if you don't know, is the ability to be able to target corpses, zombie corpses specifically. In the case of Holy Blast, that basically means that you are able to immediately cut off zombie enemies' health, even when they are just still corpse. I doubt it's as good as just letting them burrow anyways and then Holy Blasting them, so I feel like it's mainly just an extra. If anything, this probably benefits Breaker Blast more, because the thing about Breaker Blast is that it really often has a problem of accidentally targeting burrowed zombie or zombie corpses rather than an enemy that you want to hit at the first place. So that allows Breaker Blast to actually do something instead of just missing on corpses. But that's not the only big thing about Breaker Blast having Soul Strike. The thing about Breaker Blast and Holy Blast getting Soul Strike is that since usually Holy Blast deals a percentage damage towards corpses, a lot of the time Holy Blast won't actually Z-kill corpse enemies unless those corpse enemies are zombies that revives at a very low HP. But that is actually really rare. One of the only exceptions in this case are like Babu or Musashi, where they actually revive at a very low percentage to a point where you can actually use Holy Blast to clean off their corpse and it'll Z-kill them. If anything, Breaker Blast's Soul Strike is instead, if your Breaker Blast is leveled enough and deals enough damage, you can instantly destroy Zolo's corpses. I find that very interesting. Holy Blast can't do that to Zolo because Zolo actually revives at like 100% health, I believe. You can't clear off the corpse using Holy Blast. So if anything, if there's a Zolo, it's actually more beneficial to use Breaker Blast to be able to clean off the corpses. Clean up the corpse doesn't sound good, but that's pretty much what happens, so yeah. Other than that, Undead Cat level increased to 50 plus 10. I believe this is because he's now obtainable on the legendary Holy Water, which is interesting because this is JP, right? This is JP. Since we don't actually have Undead Cat on EN yet, and I think there's gonna be a very likely chance that legendary Holy Water is also gonna come to EN, this might mean that we might actually get Undead Cat on EN. By the time I make this video, I probably would already know the answer, but yeah. July monthly gauntlet map restriction changed to 10 unit limit. This is weird, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 10 unit limit by default, but they kind of messed it up before. Gotcha banner. Dragon Emperor banner includes 2 new Uber. Yep, there's a new Dragon Emperor banner, and you might already know what it is. Again, I will talk about it later. New Bright seasonal banner, including a Chronos Variant and a Brainwash Cow. Right, this also already spoils what one of the new unit is, which is a... We'll talk about Bright Chronos a little later, and we'll also talk about Brainwash Cow a little later. These are all the Ubers in the Bright banner. Verbana, Ganglion, Cyclops, Sarukani, and Misley. Weird choice, but okay. Verbana is a pretty obvious choice. Verbana is literally Bright themed after all. Ganglion? Cyclops? Sarukani? What? Misley? Huh? What is this? What are these lineups? These are so weird, but oh well, whatever. It's fine. Legendary Holy Water, special gacha banner, which drops Ancient Egg N201 and Undead Cat. Okay, since it's mentioned here, I might as well talk about this. This is why I don't like Legendary Holy Water. Legendary Holy Water drops N201. I really don't like this, because this is a very exclusive banner. This is a banner that supposedly probably will only come once a year. If you're missing out on Undead Cat, whatever, that's fine. If you're missing out on an Ancient Egg, that sucks. That's weird. I really don't like this decision to put Ancient Egg N201 into a special banner that probably only appears once a year. I really don't like this, because I think N201 actually has potential as well, which I'll talk about this later. But I really don't like that they put this as a special exclusive to only get on Legendary Holy Water, because this is the only way that you can get Ancient Egg N201 currently. I really hope they change this in the future, because I really don't like this exclusivity. I really don't like this. This is my absolute #1 complaint about this update. Other than that, new true form for Gummy Cat. Hey, you guys remember Gummy Cat? That one unit that is exclusive to only if you purchase it? I don't know what to make of it, but now it gains Behemoth Killer, way higher HP, and 1000 knockback changed into 1500 knockbacks. That's crazy. It requires 5 of each Behemoth Stone. This shit is insane. This shit's so stupid. I doubt anyone would get it at the first place. I doubt anyone would even have Gummy Cat at the first place. Most likely not gonna be used that much, but it's there. Alright, yeah, Gummy Cat also has dodge. Other than that, it's a new cat combo for Ravi and Curling Cat. This one is actually pretty good, considering Gravelodon is already basically a tanker anyways, and Curling Cat is also a tanker. Having a defense up combo on 2 tanker units is pretty good. If you want to bring Ravi or you want to bring Curling Cat, you're gonna want to use it to tank, and having basically a free defense up, I think it's really nice. Next one is the new units, but we'll talk about the new units a bit later. I want to talk about new enemies first. New enemies! I should bring out the image just now, hold on. I might as well bring out the new Gummy Cat true form image as well. This is Gummy's true form. Pretty cute. It's blue. It's like a soda, basically. So new enemies. There's 3 enemy. One is an Aku Behemoth, a Black Behemoth, and a Relic Enemy. This one is the Black Behemoth. It is a Black Douche. It's literally just Ahirujo, but black. That's about it. The stats is relatively similar, except that it has like a 5% chance of poison. Right here. Super Dark Beast Duck Joe. I'm not really sure if this is referencing anything else that is different from Ahirujo. It's a 3-hit multi-hit. The range is pretty similar. It's basically the same. 250, 300, 350. It stands at 250. The damage is pretty similar. I think this is a little bit stronger, but basically the same. The knockback is way higher. The HP I feel like is a little bit lower, but it has a 5% chance of a 50% toxic, which is pretty big. It basically has a 5% chance to just completely destroy your unit. It is only 5%, but it is also a 3-hit multi-hit, to be fair. Still not that bad. If you're unlucky enough, you probably will get destroyed. But that is if you're unlucky. It shouldn't be too bad. This unit can snipe your Bomber Cat. You can't even use Bomber Cat at it. It's immune to freeze. It's immune to weaken, and it's immune to surge. I'd imagine the weaken comes from using CAT or something like that, because CAT can bust through the defenses. If you have Pizza Wave, this thing still dies really fast. RoboCat winning. I don't think RoboCat outranges. Around 14% chance per attack cycle for a Toxics. Yeah, that sounds about right. Honestly, your main counter for this douche is probably still Courier. The other one is a Aku Behemoth, and this is actually a slot variant. There we go. There's the new Aku slot. Super Spectacular Beast Namakemolga. I forgot what this is based off. I'm sure Kaxer knows what this is based off. Nargacuga, right. That's the name of it. I'm not really sure if this is an accurate representation of Nargacuga, but this is basically what this Aku slot is based off. At first glance, this might not look really similar, but what really sells it is that this Aku slot attacks with its tail. The attack animation for the slot, the tail immediately grew spike just like this, arcs his head back, and then goes forward again, you know, like normal slot. Except that it brings its tail up and then shoot the needles, which apparently is how Nargacuga attacks as well. The way they attack are basically the same, and that's where the namesake and the reference comes from. Honestly, I kind of like the stats of this one. As in, like, I think this is really interesting. It has 500 standing range, which is pretty much about the same as other slot variant. I believe Elder slot also has 500 range. But the funny thing is that it is a multi-hit multi-hit with Omni Strike, but it doesn't exactly pierce. It has an Omni Strike that doesn't pierce, so 1 to 501, 200 to 500, 350 to 500. None of these goes above 500, except for this one. This one goes to 501 for some goddamn reason, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't actually matter. I don't know why it's coded like that. I don't know why the first attack is 501, but the rest is 500. But the meaning of this multi-hit, since it attacks first like this, and then second to here, and then third to here, that means that if you are tanking the slot, you are getting much less damage. Meanwhile, if you're a mid-ranger or if you're a farther away from slot, you'll get multi-hit. The multi-hit timing is super tight. It's only 2 frames between each other. So if you get knocked back by 1 hit, you're not going to be able to get hit multiple times. If your knockback resistance is more than the enemy's damage, you're just going to get hit once either way. But if you are tanking, you can get hit multiple times. So this means that this allows you to be able to clean up the slot faster. Because usually I think a lot of slot has that problem where it exists as a backliner and its sole purpose in the stage is just a backliner, but cleaning up the slot takes forever. But having this multi-hit means that it allows the enemy to still be threatening, but at the same time also allows you to be able to use tanker to clean up the slot faster without having to deal with the bullshit that is the slot damage. Why is Aku slot's walking animation so janky? I feel like the entire animation for this slot is really janky. YouTube Premium, go away! I can't click this! This is a browser on OBS. This is one of the new stages for Behemoth Calling stage. I haven't even gotten into that. But yeah, that's the Aku slot. The animation moves too fast. And yeah, there's the attack animation. It shoots from its tail. The animation is kind of... I feel like it could be way smoother. I feel like it could be way smoother. Again, I think the idea is cool, but I think it's too stiff. As you know, on last update, Behemoth Calling Stage stopped at like level 4 or level 5 or something like that. And then it says that you have to wait for the next update, for the next stages to show up. And now we got all the way to level 7, I believe. There's a slot again. It does have a chance to freeze, and it also has an Aku shield. And of course, as usual, Courier destroys it. Courier destroys everything. But yeah, that's all. It does freeze for quite a long time, actually. 100 frames is a pretty long time. It's like almost 4 seconds. It's like 3.3 seconds or so. Other than that, it also has a 50k HP shield. 50k HP shield is actually relatively low, but to be fair, this is also only 100%. This is also another thing that I find really interesting. It's immune to waves. Normally, I don't really bother with enemies that are immune to waves. A lot of the times, it's just like, oh yeah, that exists. That probably doesn't really matter that much though. But for Aku slot, being a backliner that is immune to waves can actually be pretty devastating, because that means you can't really chip it down using waves. You can't chip it down with slime. You can't chip it down with Manic Macho Legs. You can't chip it down with like Hermit Cat. So your only choice is either LD or Surge, basically, if you want to chip it from far away. You can see the video earlier that you can just rush it down, but in UL, it exists as a backliner, as a normal backliner, pretty much what you'd expect from a normal stage where that has a slot in it. That being immune to wave, I think can actually be a problematic thing. No Surge immune, just use Dastly. Yeah, this is for the people who complains about, oh, they're trying to stop Dastly or whatever. But I mean, to be fair, Black Douche is Surge immune, but yeah. More or less, you get the idea of what the enemy do. It does basically act like a normal backliner. I believe it shows up as a 200% slot, and 34,000 damage is pretty big. Other than that, there is a new Relic Enemy, which is this one. I actually have not seen this in action much. It's a Haniwa Doge. It looks pretty similar to your Haniwa Cat, except this one is a Doge. Haniwa is like a statue, basically, that usually often looks like this. But this is still based off Cactuar, which is a Final Fantasy enemy. And Cactuar is based off Haniwa. It's kind of like a double reference, considering that Haniwa Doge is based off Cactuar and Cactuar is based off Haniwa, and Haniwa Cat is also based off Haniwa. It is kind of like a wall Doge deal. It's a tanker that mainly exists to tank, but it actually also has a lot of annoying status effects. Probably one of the main problem is this. It has a level 4 mini wave. It has a lot of chance to do status effects. 20% knockback, 20% freeze, 20% slow, 20% weaken, 20% curse. And even though the range is only 120, which means that it can hardly hit anything, it has a mini wave. You can use Octopus on it though. Octopus has 140 range, so it actually outranges Haniwa Doges. But if your Octo gets disabled for one reason or another, maybe other enemies in the stage destroys your Octo or stuff like that, yeah, this can be a problem. Especially with the damage being 20,000. This is pretty big, especially with the attack frequency only being at 2 seconds. This DPS is actually pretty big, and it's more often than not spawning in a group, just like wall doges. It's like an offensive wall doge, I guess. I have heard people calling this to actually be kind of a threat, actually. It is a relic, so you can use anti-relics on it. You can use like Hermit Cat or some shit or whatever. Yeah, this is actually kind of a troublesome enemy. Cursing this enemy is one of the only use for cursed against enemies. You can curse it with Hermit Cat, and then it'll disable all of this. He's so funny, he just spins. Yeah, his attack animation is just, he just spins. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So those are the new enemies. This one's not really that interesting. It's kind of meh. This one I really like. This one is pretty threatening. For new stages, we got new UL. Again, this is where Haniwa appears. It appears with Galactic Overseer Yandam, Loris, and Puffington. New UL crowns, whatever. There's a Bright Seasonal Gauntlet, and there's also two Bright Seasonal event maps. I don't really fully remember all of the details, but I'm pretty sure these are basically where you get your Holy Water, which you can get the two new units, Undead Cat and 201. The Behemoth Colin stage that was usually before locked up until level 4 now goes up to level 7. And you can already see earlier from the Aku slot footage that I showed earlier, those are some of the new stages for Behemoth Calling stage, and those actually guarantee stone drops. You actually can get Behemoth Stone from this. Insane! You won't actually suffer too much from getting bricks anymore. How do I get bricks now? I know. Very unfortunate for people that really wants bricks. It's still probably just gonna give you one, and it'll just gonna give you like random ass stones that you might not actually need. But at least it's guaranteed stones, so yeah. And this is the other interesting stuff. Duel and Tag Arena Gauntlets. You know, those events where you can fight off enemies with 1 cap limit, and this one is 2 cap limits. So yeah, you remember those? Those got clumped up, similar to how gauntlets were clumped up. You know how previously gauntlets were separated to 1 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 60? These are now getting the gauntlet treatment. Basically, they compile all of the existing duel and arena gauntlets, and they compile it into one event, and then they add several new stages. I think they add like 2 new stages for each of these. People might mold because that means they get less cat food from clearing the event stages, but this gauntlet, I believe, removes the time drop rewards. This actually just gives out normal rewards, which is kind of weird. But also, to be fair, the newest duel and tag arena looks really ass. Actually, now I wonder if they might not completely remove the old duel, actually. I wonder if both the old duel and the new duel can still coexist. Okay, this is the newest duel stage, the 2 cap limit one. And that's Berserkery and Mist Devil, which might not be too bad, but the Mist Devil is infinite. And this one is the 1 cap limit. It's Teacher Bun Bun, Alpaki, and then Red Energy. I believe this is similar to one of the dual stage that we already have before. I believe that's how it is. It was Alpaki, Cappy, and then Bun Bun. They completely swapped out Cappy for Red Energy here. Red Energy with 1 unit is very scary. Yeah, you might have to like really chip it down. But to be fair, it's only 100%, so it might not be too bad. I think like a boosted Courier can still tank out Red Energy, and you probably would still be able to use Roe or something like that. So with that aside, let's talk about the cats. Where should we begin? Most of the new cats, as you can see here, are eggs. But there are also the new Ubers and Brainwash Cow. Okay, let's talk about these first, and then we'll talk about the eggs, because I think the eggs are the more interesting one. So, Brainwash Cow is a unit that exists. I don't know what to say about this guy. This guy kind of just exists. It has a 30% chance to curse Aku and Black. What? What? What is this for? What is this for? I'm so confused. There's like, I don't know, Okame, I guess, but it doesn't really survive that long. It has 22k HP, that's not that big, and it has 5 knockback counts. You can't really tank anything with it. It has 5 knockback counts. It's gonna get interrupted really easily. So what are you doing? It could survive an Aku slot hit, but that doesn't really do that much. I wouldn't doubt that some people are gonna find a usage out of this, but what the fuck? This is so confusing. I don't fucking know what Ponos is thinking, but yeah, that unit exists. The banner that Cow was on is the Bright banner, and that is where the new Kronos variant appear. Bright Kronos is now here. Wait, is this the first Almighty variant? Oh right, Aphrodite, I forgot about that. Right, I even have Chocolate Deity, I totally forgot about that. Okay, this is the second then. This is the second variant for Almighties. This new Kronos is a slot machine. The funny thing is, it's similar to the Relic Haniwa. It has a mini wave, it has chance to slow, it has chance to weaken, and it has chance to curse. It targets everything traded as usual. I don't know what to feel about this. This also has weird damage. The damage is different on each hit. Goes from weaker to better and better. I'm not really sure what to feel about this one. I'm pretty sure it's the same range as Kronos. I wouldn't doubt it's not bad, but the chances are not guaranteed. The slow is really short. The weekend is really short. The curse is really short. I think only the slow matters. That's the thing. I think only the slow matters here, because having a really short weekend and curse doesn't really do that much. It does have the mini wave, but the mini wave is only 20%. I think a lot of people say they would prefer normal Chronos, but yeah, it's a very weird Chronos. If it has a 15% freeze chance, I think it would be fine. The weekend and curse is far too inconsistent to actually rely on, so I don't know. This one is weird. I wouldn't doubt that it can actually work. Like, if anything, I feel like you're gonna use it for the damage so that the mini wave can also count. Most seasonals are just rip-off and standard variants. Yeah, but at least like Chocolate Deity is actually pretty good. Like, Chocolate Deity is weaker than Aphrodite, but it's still pretty good. This one just feels lackluster. When people... Okay, when this whole thing was data mined on Discord, everyone saw, oh, there's a new Dragon Emperor and there's a new Bright Chronos. Naturally, everyone flocks into Bright Chronos. Everyone goes, holy shit, new Chronos? This is gonna be broken. Everyone's gonna love this shit. Let's talk about Chronos and Chronos only. And then they saw the new Dragon Emperor, and then they saw this 100% chance of slow floating and Angel, and they go, oh, you know what, Sanzo's gonna be better. We don't care about the new Dragon Emperors. I wanna know what Bright Chronos do. I wanna know everything about Bright Chronos. Let's not really care about the new Dragon Emperors. Surely the new Dragon Emperor is not gonna be that relevant whatsoever. It's literally against floating and angels. No one's gonna care, right? Oh boy. Behold, Le Fiche. This unit is something else. That's a good one, Super Link. Your usual Dragon Emperor. It has 6,000 cost. It has 151 cooldown. Really expensive, pretty long cooldown. But holy shit, it stands at 510. This shit's massive. And it's LD. It's LD all the way to 700. It has range from 300 to 700, stands at 510, has a pretty solid HP. It has 7 knockback count. The attack frequency isn't too bad. It's pretty long, but it's not too bad. And the DPS, this might look mediocre, but 510 range? A unit that stands at 510 range would probably have like 2000 DPS or something. This guy has 4000 base DPS. And guess what? We haven't even talked about the fact that this guy has Savage Blow. Considering that Savage Blow triples your damage, and it has a 20% chance of doing that, more or less your DPS gets multiplied by 1.4. And with that being calculated, your overall DPS is 6200. This is insane. This is fucked up. This is beyond fucked up. Masamune has 6000 DPS. That guy stands at 420 range and doesn't have LD. This guy stands at 510 with LD all the way to 700. This is absolutely bullshit. This is crack. Aphrodite. Aphrodite stands at like, what, 600 range? Aphrodite has like 3000 DPS. And again, this is level 30. Usually, I don't really like Omega powerful Ubers, but the main reason why I really like this Uber is because when this Uber was released, literally no one was talking about it, and people just fawn over Chronos. And when the full stats shows up, I was like, I fucking told you guys to not just judge the fish by its ability. Look at this fish now. The crazy part is, even if we don't have the Savage Blow, this is still really solid. 4000 DPS on 510 range is still really good. But the fact that it has Savage Blow and it has a chance to basically deal like 100,000 damage on level 30 is insane. The slow is also really good. It is a guaranteed slow for 4 seconds, and it is a Colossal Skiller, so it deals even more damage to Colossus. And since it stands at 510, unlike stuff like Terun or Hanzo, it actually is able to outrange a lot of colossal enemies. And again, since it has 7 knockbacks, it is able to survive so much longer. It is immune to knockback, but to be fair, it has 7 knockback counts, so I don't know why this exists, but it has 7 knockback counts, so it's fine. He also counters Exiel. Yep, that's true. He counters Exiel and he counters Moot. It has more knockbacks than Dastly. Yep. This is why I call it the fish update, because this guy is just busted. Still be good for other Barons. Yeah, because it actually has range. It actually outranges a lot of other colossal enemies. So that's all for the new Ubers and Brainwash Cat. Let's talk about the new eggs. So we got 3 new eggs. N103, N104, and N201. To get N103 and to get N104, it's similar to how you get the N101 and N102, the red egg and blue egg, which is that you need to clear missions. With N101 being Courier, you need to clear the Behemoth farming stage 5 times. Blue egg, Tarzan, you need to to clear Behemoth farming stage 10 times. This one, N103 is Black Egg, and you need to beat farming stage 15 times, and N104, Green Egg, which is a floating egg, you need to clear it 20 times. Yeah, the requirement for the true form is kind of insane. With Courier only requiring like 5 purple Behemoth and 5 red Behemoth, the Black Egg requires 15 purple and 15 red and 1 blue. The Green Egg requires 13 blue, 13 green, and 1 yellow. And N201, which is an Aku Egg, requires 10 purple Behemoth and 10 red Behemoth. It's not too terrible. I already said this before. The way you get them is from Legendary Holy Water. You can't get it from anywhere else. You can get it to plus 10. I really don't like the fact that it's only obtainable from this. I think it sucks, and I really hope that this is obtainable somewhere else later on in the line. Because holy shit, this is a terrible design choice. I think this is terrible. You might say it's like, oh, what about Undead Cat? Actually, in JP, you are able to unlock Undead Cat. If you read through like one of the tutorials or one of the help options in Battle Cats, you click something up, you're able to get Undead Cat. So Undead Cat is technically not locked off to only from Legendary Holy Water. However, N201 is locked off from only Legendary Holy Water. This shit really sucks, and I really hope this changes in the future. Other than that, let's talk about the eggs. As you can tell from 11.5, most eggs are pretty much designed to counter new enemies, and in here, the new black enemy is of course this guy, the Black Douche. The Black Douche has Toxic, so naturally, the new black egg is Toxic immune. It is a Toxic immune meat shield. You can see here, it's kind of a meat shield. It has resistance, so it is kind of a meat shield. It has an HP for like a resistant meat shield, but it has 250 range. That is interesting. It is not just any meat shield. It is a range meat shield. That's one knockback. Damage is irrelevant. It is kind of similar to like Shigong in fashion. The cost is still kind of expensive, all things considered, but it is resistant, so whatever. I'm not really sure what to feel about this guy. This guy also Behemoth Killer, of course, and is immune to Toxic to counter the Black Douche, of course. Against black enemies, if you have All Treasure, it has 57k HP against normal black enemies. And then for against a black Behemoth, oh god, I already forgot the multiplier for this. Wait, what is the multiplier for this? Oh yeah, 0.6. Right. Oh god, I'm so stupid. Against a black Behemoth, it has 95k HP. Pretty good. And this is level 30. You might think, oh, that also means that this is just for the douche, right? And that's kind of lame. But actually, we have Raging Gory. Raging Gory is an enemy that exists. And Raging Gory also gets the Behemoth trait last update. So technically, this also counters Raging Gory. But usually, Raging Gory is never really a problem. But if Raging Gory does have a stage that actually becomes a problem, then yeah, this is also a pretty good counter for Raging Gory. But other than that, it's really unconventional because of the 250 range, and the HP isn't too crazy. Like, this is a good HP, but this is also 6 seconds respawn, and the cost is kind of big. You can use Research Combo for it, but it's like, is it really worth it though? You know? I feel like it has potential, but it's not here yet. It feels like it has a usage, but at the same time, in practical terms, not really. But this unit exists. This is indeed a unit that exists. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, he does look cute. He does look like a Pyro from TF2. You can't see the full body from here, but the full body of this guy is literally just a cat. Like, it's literally just a small cat. It's basically just like that. And he opens up his gas mask and shoots out a fire. But yeah, moving on to N104. This is Surgery Cat. He attacks by like throwing syringe. Yeah, some people call it COVID Cat, but I'm just gonna call it Surgery Cat. And of course, that means it is a anti-floating. This is kind of funny. I'm not really sure how to say this. So this is a weakening unit. It has a 30% chance to weaken to 50%. That's Behemoth Killer, and it is immune to Surge. But the main thing is this. He's pretty fast. He's actually pretty fast. So naturally, you probably want to use it against the Owl. It is anti-floating, after all. Having the weaken and having it be able to rush in is really nice for the Owl, essentially. It is interesting that it's also LD, and it's also a ranged unit. Weaken to floating is a relatively weird choice. I can imagine it sort of working, maybe on like some Brawlo stages or some crazy ass little bun spam stage or whatever, but it's not super important so far, I feel like. I think this might actually shine on 4 stars, maybe against like little buns or something like that. If say your camera is not too strong enough or whatever, you can use them with support and it'll be able to hit a bunch of little buns at once. It does have like pretty good standing range, all things considered, and the respawn is actually pretty nice. The cost is also relatively good, so you can say this is actually pretty stackable. out, especially with this good standing range. However, probably one of the main things that makes me feel really weirded out by the unit. Like, I think this is pretty nice to being it stackable. You know, it has LD, it has high range, so it's able to enter LD. That's weaken, and I think weaken is nice, but it has 1 knockback count. What? This sucks. This is really detrimental. The fact that it has 320 range makes it good for stacking, but the fact that it only has 1 knockback count is really detrimental to its survival. I don't know, it's weird. I really wish this has at least 2 or 3 knockback counts because it's not squishy. Like 15k HP, this is not squishy. This is pretty good for a rare unit, especially a rare unit that has 8 seconds respawn. This is not bad at all. Like, a lot of rare units only has like 8,000 HP or some shit like that. But for some reason, Ponos gave it 1 knockback count. And I don't know what to feel about this now. Maybe mainly 4-star usages? I wouldn't doubt it can still has more other usages. Maybe help Octo tank some Brawlos or some Pigeons or whatever. It is immune to Search, again, probably mainly for the Owl. But aside from the Owl, not really much usage. You might be able to use it on like Autumn, since Autumn doesn't deal crazy amount of damage. And since it has 1 knockback count, it means that it's able to tank Autumn down. You can also use it to like tank some of the huge range face variants as well, you know, like Aku face or the Relic face. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. So far, all of the eggs has been really weird. It's like, I don't feel like they're bad necessarily, but I think their usages are gonna be kind of lackluster. Let's talk about the Aku egg. Oh, my back! I've been super shrimping. So this is Aku egg. This is like the devil priest egg or whatever. This guy is basically kind of like Necrodancer, where they're possessed. Yeah, this guy is also basically like a possessed priest or whatever. New anti-Aku egg. This is N201, the one that you get from the Holy Water gacha, the one that I've been complaining over and over again, as you can tell. It is a anti-Aku, and it freezes. It freezes for 90 frames, which is pretty good for a 30% chance. It has a pretty good respawn time. It has a low range. It has a good cost. It has a pretty good attack frequency as well. It has good speed enough to able to enter some stuff, basically. Behemoth Killer, which also means it also dodges Behemoth. A lot of people really seem to resent this unit, mainly because it doesn't have Aku Shield Break, but I don't really mind that much, honestly. Because I think this unit can be used maybe like a very specific strategies. Because this respawn is really nice, and I feel like it can make it to be used for stacking, and this cost is really cheap, and the speed is pretty nice. If anything, I wish this guy has 1 knockback count. I wish this guy trades knockback count with Surgeon Cat. I wish Surgeon Cat has 3 knockback count, and I wish this guy has 1 knockback count, because then at least this guy would be able to tank down Akus. But alas, that is not the case. This guy has 3 knockback counts. Its main use is definitely for the Aku slot, and again, Aku slot doesn't actually have that much shield to begin with, so shield doesn't really matter that much for this guy. Yeah, I do wish his freeze chance is a little bit bigger, but also to be fair, the freeze lasts for a pretty long time. It's kind of hard to stack it on something, mainly because the range is really low. But yeah, I wish this unit is a little bit better, but oh well. This unit does have a +10 cap though. If you get multiple legendary holy water, you can buff it up a little bit, but it's not gonna amount to too much. So I wish this unit's a little bit better. I wish the freeze chance is better. I wouldn't doubt it if you can make some crazy strategy with this guy, maybe stack something up, rush down certain Aku enemies and stuff like that or whatever. The only other deal breaker with this guy is that this guy is single target. But yeah, other than that, that's about all. That's about all for this update, I think. Those are all about the eggs, and those are all about 11.6, which is the fish update. Before I go, I'm very sorry to X-Skull, but I'm exposing you right now. Remember when I talked about the fish earlier? This is X-Skull's response when he saw the fish. Outclassed by Sanzo, probably, you know. It targets Angel and Floating and slows outclassed by Sanzo, probably. X-Skull, if you're watching this, no offense, but man, that was such a shitty thing to say. Rich Battle Cats player. Yeah, but Sanzo is better though.